Heroes Academy, MWV, McDonald's, Bon Secours, Richmond International Airport, T. Miller's, Genworth, Richmond Tax Solutions, and Crown Richmond BMW. TC Stevens has it teed up for the Raiders. Two men deep for Harrisburg, Watson and Jones. As this game is underway with Stevens kicking it deep, going high and well wide of the uprights, hitting the protective netting that winds around the corners of the end zones here in the Giant Center, and falling to the turf for a touchback. Stampede start at the 10-yard line. Raiders defensive starting lineup: Devin Jones, Christian Lacey, Gus Tyson, Preston Hines, Kevin Allen, with defensive backs Torres Jones, Malik Cromartie, and Tyrell Austin. Namath in the shotgun. White goes in motion on the first play of the game. Namath backs up, steps up, pumps, going deep. Down the sideline, it is overthrown. Incomplete, looking for Cullis Martin down the left sideline. Too much air under it by Namath, and his first pass attempt goes incomplete. Second down and 10, as a Stampede trying to strike deep on the first play of the game. So in addition to Norman White, who was the motion man, and Cullis Martin, who that pass was intended for, Jarrell Jones is the third starting receiver for the Stampede. Namath looks short. Going down to the turf is Martin as he makes the catch shy of the 15-yard line. Four yards for the Stampede on the quick out, and it's third down and 6. Scorpio Brown, one of their leading receivers, is not with them. He got a tryout with the Arena Football League this week, so he's on the exempt list and will not be playing tonight. Third down and 6 for Harrisburg. Jones goes in motion. Shotgun snap to Namath. Pump fakes. In trouble. Hit as he throws. Going deep, and it's incomplete. Cromartie right there with Jones, as Devin Jones got some pressure on Namath right before he released the football. Fourth down and 6 for Harrisburg. Decision time for the first time for their coaching staff. Rick Marsilio, the offensive coordinator, staying out there and watching the field goal unit come on. Cap Poklemba is going to try a field goal from 51 yards. Hold by Namath, the kick away. It's going to be a short one and come down in the very back of the end zone to Speedy Clark. He brings it out of the end zone to the 5 and 10 yard line, where he has flipped and turned upside down, getting submarined by Dominique Bacon. But still a good return coming out of the back corner of the end zone and giving the Raiders pretty decent field position after the defense forces a 3 and out. .12:39 to play. Good start for the defense. Doing exactly what they need to do. Holding the Stampede scoreless the first time out. Offense ready to go. Antoine Williams in the lineup. Scooby Bryant and Herb Jones at wide receiver. Konopka goes to Scooby across the 15-yard line, and he's hit by a couple of Stampede. A yard, maybe a yard and a half shy of the first down. Knows the football just approaches the 19-yard line, so we'll call it second and 1. Kenny Jones, the fullback for Richmond. Eric Weaver, James Carter, and Kenneth Moses on the offensive line. Phil Konopka under center with Scooby Bryant going in motion. The handoff goes to Kenny Jones, trying to get his feet moving, but Kamara is there to stand him up, and with some help from Tim Green, pushes him backwards. But they do give Kenny Jones forward progress to the plane of the 20-yard line, and that is a Raiders first down. So Kenny Jones had a rough go of it last week. Only 3 carries, a net of no yards. Had to be taken out for an extra offensive lineman for more protection for Konopka. Jones picks up a block here. Konopka rolls to his right and throws too far ahead of Scooby Bryant, throwing on the run. On the Harrisburg defensive front, you got Daniel Orlebar, Brian Wick, and Amara Kamara. Armar Watson, Jermaine Faxton, Tim Green in the backfield, along with Travis Proctor and James Pitts. 2nd down and 10. Bryant, the motion man again. Konopka, short drop, a pump fake. It's pushed backwards and now throws long, and it's incomplete, looking for Antoine Williams. Williams covered by Armar Watson. And it brings up 3rd and 10. Stampede defense trying to match the Raiders defense with a stop to start the game. Antoine Williams gets a head start. The high motion man to the wide right side. Konopka, a deep drop. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to get swallowed and sacked to the 15-yard line. Tim Green off the bottom of the pile along with Daniel Orlebar. Raiders lose 4 on 3rd and 10. It means they'll have to try a field goal. 49-yarder from T.C. Stevens. Armar Watson deep for Harrisburg. TC gets it away. A high end over end kick going towards the uprights and going through the uprights. Looked like it was bending left, but T.C. Stevens makes a 49-yard field goal, and the Raiders go up 3-0. So the defenses both get a possession that the respective coaches will be very much in favor of, forcing a long field goal. But T.C. Stevens puts the Raiders on the board. The 3-pointer. 9:11 to play in the first quarter. Raiders have a 3-point lead thanks to T.C. Stevens' longest field goal of the season. Take a quick opportunity to step away for a couple of messages. Back to the Giant Center in Hershey after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
It was the 3rd lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
Welcome back to Hershey. The kickoff by T.C. Stevens. Going to die out, but go over the back wall and be a touchback. Stevens has just put the Raiders up 3-0 with a 49-yard field goal. As both offenses have struggled, Raiders got 1 first down, Stampede none in each team's respective first possession. Raiders defense back out there after allowing just 4 yards to the Stampede on their first drive. Again, Harrisburg starts from the 10. Jones, Martin, and White, still the wide receiving tandem. Martin goes in motion. Namath to throw. Under pressure. He is hit and brought down. A big sack for Preston Hines. Hines got free of his man. Chased down Namath. Hit him hard from behind to the 7-yard line. So each team with a sack in the early going. 2nd down and 13 for Harrisburg. And a hard count is going to get some movement across the line of scrimmage. And we'll see if Namath's hard count gets his team 5 yards. As Lacey moved, but the Raiders pointing toward the Stampede offense. We might get a false start call here. And it is a false start against the Stampede. Moving back half the distance to the 3.5-yard line. Mentioned the wide receiving tandem, Martin, White, and Jones. We'll probably see those three 95% of the time this afternoon as Namath from the end zone floats it deep, and that one nearly picked off as Cromartie was closing on the football. The pass sailed past intended receiver Norm White, and Cromartie came all the way across the field trying to get there before it landed, couldn't quite catch up to it, so it goes incomplete and brings up 3rd and long for Harrisburg. Their 4th wide receiver, Darryl Shine, again in the absence of one of their mainstays over the years. Shine has yet to catch a ball this year and is more of an emergency 4th receiver. From the end zone, Namath has to throw. Pressure comes. He gets rid of the ball, and it goes incomplete between 2 receivers. Had a man at each 20-yard line. The ball landed about the 25, and it's 4th and long for Harrisburg. Another good stand by this Raiders defense. A 2nd straight 3 and out, and a very long kick coming up for Cap Paklemba. This will be a 61-yard try for Paklemba. Scooby Bryant deep for the Raiders. And the kick is going to be a sidewinding kick that Bryant catches on the fly, a step into the end zone, coming out to the 10 and 15 with a head of steam to midfield, goes on the sideline, picking its way to the 15, puts a spin move on, gets to the 10, and falls down just as the last Harrisburg Stampede player was there to bring him down to the turf. A 41-yard return for Scooby Bryant, and the Raiders have a 1st and goal at the Harrisburg 10. 4:22 left to play in the first quarter. Raiders defense hopes to turn into offense. The defense pushed him back, making him face 4th and 16 and a 61-yard field goal. And in the exchange, Bryant gets a big return, had a head of steam before he was even touched. And now it's 1st and goal. Clark goes in motion, toss back to Kenny Jones, tries to turn the corner, gets behind a cutback block from Moses, but the second wave is there, led by Tim Green, and Kenny Jones doesn't go much of anywhere, might lose a foot or so, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Herb Jones, Speedy Clark to the right for Konopka, and Bryant's going to go in motion out of the left side over to that side as well. Konopka, a clean pocket, looks, delivers to Herb Jones along the far side wall. The ball comes out. Herb dives back and falls on it at the 15-yard line. So as he likes to do, Herb Jones held that ball out away from his body a little bit. Stampede ready for that. Knocked it away And now 3rd and goal from the 15. Raiders moving backwards after the huge return of the missed field goal. Trips left. Konopka, again a clean pocket. Has it go off of Herb Jones's hands, incomplete. Jones just across the 10-yard line when that ball got to him, and 2 Stampede closing in. Doubtful he would have made it into the end zone. So either way, a field goal attempt coming up here on 4th down. This will be from 30 yards for TC Stevens. John Bain, the holder, Christian Lacey, the snapper. Good exchange between the two of them. The kick is up, and the kick splits the uprights. TC Stevens, 2 for 2 on field goals, and the Raiders lead 6-0. So a promising offensive series fizzles out a little bit after Kenny Jones gains nothing on 1st down, and Herb Jones's fumble sets the Raiders back 5 yards. Stevens bails him out with his 2nd field goal in as many possessions. Raiders up 6-0 with just over 4 minutes to play in the 1st quarter. Don't forget to bookmark the official website of the Richmond Raiders for game summaries, previews, photos, the latest news on Raider and Lady Raider community appearances, and much more. Visit RichmondRaidersProFootball.com, where you can also buy tickets and team merchandise. All Raiders all the time on RichmondRaidersProFootball.com. TC Stevens has it teed up. A lot of room for him to get set up on these kickoffs. Some deep end zones here at the Giant Center, home of the Hershey Bears. The hockey setup gives the football field plenty of space. Another kick goes tailing off over the back wall. Stampede will get it at the 10 for the 3rd straight possession. Hines, Lacey, and Jones across the defensive line. Gus Tyson, the MAC linebacker, as Namath drops the snap, and it's picked off by Kevin Allen, and he is going to hurdle a man, go to the 5-yard line, go towards the end zone, dive across the goal line. Touchdown, Raiders! Kevin Allen picks off E.J. Namath and returns it 12 yards for a touchdown. It's Allen's team-leading 6th touchdown of the season. Coming at a great time deep in Stampede territory. And the athletic move by Allen to avoid the wall, hurdle a would-be tackler, and stretch the ball across the goal line for the touchdown. Stevens adds the extra points, and the Raiders are up 13-0 late in the 1st quarter. Well, Kevin Allen, the Jack linebacker, not sure if Namath's timing was thrown off, as he did drop the low snap, had to snatch it up off the turf, and then get his eyes downfield and look for a receiver. But Allen, as the Jack, just fanned out to where the receivers were going, covered the side of the field within the linebacker box, and when the pass was delivered, he was right there to step in front of it and take it back 12 yards for the touchdown. Stevens for the kickoff. Hits the scoreboard. And the Stampede are going to get good field position out of this. The center hung scoreboard is at a pretty high spot. was not a factor at all in pregame warm-ups for either kicker. Both of them able to avoid it as they warmed up kicking deep. But that time TC had a little extra on the kick and it found the bottom of that scoreboard. So the Stampede get it at the 20. Much better starting field position for them. White goes in motion to the right of Namath. Clean snap this time. He goes to his left, and it's caught by Jarrell Jones, and he drives forward, taking Cromartie with him for a couple extra yards to the Raider 22. White, the motion man, to the left of the formation. Another low snap. Flags come down. Namath has to get rid of it, throwing deep and over the wall out of the corner of the end zone. We'll check the flags. There was movement across the neutral zone. Might be on the center or the quarterback, as they seem to be the ones least involved in knowing the snap count and being there on time. Officiating crew discussing things. And they call the Raiders for illegal defense. A call from Mike Davis, our referee tonight. Also on the crew, Joe Clarkson, Steve Kinney, Patrick Holt, and Thaddeus Foster. So it's 5 yards and an automatic first down for Harrisburg at the Raiders' 17-yard line, by far the deepest they've gotten in the early goings this afternoon. Namath goes over the middle, caught and then dropped by Jarrell Jones. It's incomplete as Jones had him in both hands, tried to secure it with both hands, but couldn't hang on to the football and dropped it at about the 2-yard line. Jones might have sniffed the end zone, thought he had a score going in, but forgot to secure the ball, so it's 2nd down and 10. Trips right, they're stacked for Namath. He's going to fake it, then run backwards, get some pressure, and throw it away. Gadget play by the Stampede, the pump fake, and then maybe one of the receivers was supposed to release deep, but good coverage by Jones, Cromartie, and Austin. And Namath has to just throw it away as nobody broke open from the bunch formation. And it's 3rd down and 10. Namath just 2 for 9, including that interception. Facing a long 3rd down here. More conventional set. Jones, the motion man. Namath getting swallowed, and Hines gets him again. Preston Hines with a sack back across midfield, but a penalty flag is down. A late flag that came down as Hines was back there making the play. We'll get the call again from Mike Davis. Huddling up with his crew and now coming out to give the call. Another illegal defense called against the Raiders. So a couple of illegal defense penalties providing the only movement for the Stampede on this series. I don't think Hines got an outside rush that time. Maybe that's what they called, but I didn't see it. Anyway, 3rd and 5 from the 12. Another stacked formation to the right of Namath. He fakes it again, looking. He's going to try to run it himself. Goes to his left, is getting hit, and is brought down for a loss of a couple. Devin Jones there to finish him off after Christian Lacey hit him first and brought him down by his ankles. So again, the bunch formation yields nothing for the Stampede. Same look for him. His Namath pump faked and then seemed to be lost a little bit. Didn't know what to do with the football. Had to run for his life. Lost a couple, so it's going to be 4th down and 7 when the second quarter starts. That takes us to the end of the first quarter, and through one period, it's Raiders 13, Stampede nothing. Back to the Giant Center after this for the second quarter. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
Welcome back to the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tim Hurley with you as we start the second quarter. 4th down and 7 for Harrisburg. And after the quarter break and much concerned thought from head coach Bernie Nowatarski and offensive coordinator Rick Marsilio, the Stampede will go for it from the Raiders' 14-yard line. Namath, as I mentioned, 2 of 9 in that first quarter for 12 yards. He needs 7 to keep the drive alive for Harrisburg. He'll have 2 receivers to his right, including Jarrell Jones, the high motion man. Takes the shotgun snap, stands in the pocket, throws off of 1 foot, and that's going to be flagged for pass interference as Tyrell Austin was grabbing and clutching at Collis Martin as Martin went into the end zone. Austin, not sure if he got turned around a little bit and had to try to recover. But yet another penalty on the drive keeps it alive for Harrisburg. The only forward progress they've gotten this drive is by Raider penalties. A couple of illegal defense calls, that pass interference call has them set up at the 7. Offense has yet to move the ball an inch on this series. Namath has to reposition Saran Anderson, who's back there at the fullback slot, the 4th offensive lineman. He stands in the pocket to throw, and it's incomplete, throwing too high behind Norm White, who is in the middle of the end zone. This drive set up by the kickoff that hit the scoreboard. So that's how the Stampede, thanks to Raiders penalties, have gotten this far. Not a lot of offense in the first period. 7 total yards for the Stampede, 1 for the Raiders. On second and goal, Namath is going to take it himself, run up the middle, and get hit, brought down across the 5-yard line. Devin Jones was there first, with Kevin Allen closing quickly to help complete the tackle. Namath, the keeper, for 3 yards. EJ is 3rd in the league in carries and in yards. 67 rushes coming in, 231 yards for the Harrisburg quarterback. His 13 rushing touchdowns leads the league, but 8 of those came in the team's very first game. And he's going to keep it himself again and go toward the wall and try to dive across the goal line. He does. Touchdown, Stampede, on another keeper by EJ Namath. So the pass game not really getting on track for Harrisburg yet, so Namath says, I'll keep it myself on a couple of plays. He covers the 7 yards, set up by a pass interference penalty on 4th down. Which gave the Stampede 1st and goal. 3 plays later, Namath takes it in for his league-leading 14th touchdown. First points of the day for Harrisburg. It's now 13-6 with Poklemba on for the extra point. Namath the holder, Victor Cisse, the long snapper. Wobbly snap, Namath puts it down. The kick sidewinds badly and goes way wide left. The score remains 13-6 on a shanked extra point by Cap Poklemba. So that drive was pretty much all Raiders. The Stampede will take it. The kickoff gave him good field position. Penalties moved him down to a goal-to-go scenario. And Namath, hard to stop when his team is that close. Getting down there in the red zone with a goal to go. So 13-6 our score. Raiders to get the ball back and try to get the offense moving. Raiders netted just 1 yard in the first quarter thanks to a sack and a fumble by Herb Jones that ended up losing some yards for him. Poklemba kicks it off. And this one runs out of gas going over the wall on the right corner of the end zone. Raiders will take it at the 10 and try to get the offense moving. We mentioned in the pregame one of the keys for the Raiders this afternoon would be to not get off to a slow start, to have some sustained success. And the good news is they have scored on every possession so far. The bad news is 2 of those scores are field goals, and you want to get some touchdowns. You're going to need some touchdowns eventually in this game. Field goal after field goal will not be sustainable for a win in the long term. So with that in mind, we're going to see Darren Clark make his first appearance at wide receiver. He's the high motion man. Kanopka looks in his direction, makes the catch across the 16-yard line, and falls down to the 17-yard line. First catch for Darren Speedy Clark this afternoon. We'll set up a 2nd and 3. Speedy had a breakout game last matchup with Harrisburg. 9 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. He's got 6 touchdowns on the season. He's the high motion man again. Kanopka short drop. Caught by Herb Jones, twisting out of a tackle and then going down across midfield as the backup got there. Was James Pitts and Tim Green finally getting Herb at the Stampede 22. It's a first down for the Raiders. Eleven and a half minutes to play in the second quarter. Raiders offense trying to get into a little bit of a rhythm. And with Speedy Clark going in motion, they hope that they've found it. Kanopka, a deep drop. Going over the middle, that's incomplete. Kanopka didn't quite get everything on that he wanted to. Scooby Bryant was the intended receiver. That one never reached him as Bryant was down near the 5-yard line. The ball short hopped him by a good 4 to 6 yards. Makes it 2nd down and 10. Trips right for the Raiders with Clark going in motion. And Kanopka, another deep drop. Now he's in trouble. He goes down way back at the 20-yard line as Tim Green had a late break and broke free and pile drove Phil Kanopka into the turf. Raiders lose 10 on the sack. 3rd down and 20 in minus territory. This time, Speedy's by himself to the left side. Konopka has time, going deep, looking for Clark, and it's overthrown. Clark made a break, might have had a step on James Pitts. Konopka couldn't dial him in, though, and it's going to be another field goal attempt for TC Stevens. This is a 48-yarder for TC. He's 2 for 2 in field goals tonight. Kick on the way, going toward the uprights and fading away just to the right. Had the distance, had the height, pushed it to the right though, and the first miss by TC. Leaves us with a 13-6 game with 9:07 to play in the second quarter. Stampede to the 10 now. The Raiders defense has a lot more field behind them and a chance to make some plays. As the Stampede start with a stack set, and Namath's going to run it to the opposite direction. Go over Antoine Williams, who's in there at the jack linebacker, and take it to about the 17-yard line. Namath has now run for more yardage than he's thrown it for. Stampede come out with that stack set again. Out to the numbers to the left. Namath looks that way, throws to the back man Martin behind a couple of blocks, gets the first down across the 20. Cromartie and Torres Jones push him into the padding, shy of midfield. The Stampede move the chains. And for Namath, the passing yardage now outstripping his running production. 18 yards through the air for the Harrisburg offense. Man goes in motion this time. The handoff goes to big Saran Anderson. He's got a head of steam. Takes it inside the Raider 20-yard line before they can finally bring down the big 6'1", 330-pound offensive lineman turned fullback. Anderson gains 8, lumbering forward. 2nd down and 2. Namath nowhere to go with the ball, throws off his back foot, and that goes incomplete, hitting the wall. As Hines got back there again to apply some pressure. Gus Tyson in the pocket as well. Third down and 2. A lot of options for Harrisburg here. We've seen Saran Anderson carry the ball. We know Namath can carry the ball. Cisse declares at the tight end, as Namath will have Jarrell Jones going in circle motion to the stacked left side. He's going to keep it himself, will Namath. Get stacked up, reverses field, get hit by Gus Tyson, stood up, and dropped for a loss. Tyson with a tackle for a loss. Back at the 21. Namath loses a couple. 4th down and 4. The offense going to go for it. Stampede 4th in the league at 52% on 4th down conversions. 3 receivers left. Jones stays that side, going in high motion. Namath in the shotgun, looks to throw, airs it out, and that pass is picked off by Malik Cromartie going into the wall at the 11-yard line, hit immediately by the Stampede, but Cromartie gets the 2nd turnover for this Raiders defense, and it's going to be Raider ball. .5:43 to go, first half of play. Raiders ball with the fourth down interception by Malik Cromartie. Speedy Clark in motion. Konopka in trouble. Passes tip, but caught by Kenny Jones. He's going to step over a man. Second wave gets there, but not until Jones gets nearly to the 25-yard line. Raiders set up a slow developing screen. And it works for a pretty big game, but Herb Jones is down as he was blocking downfield for Kenny Jones. And he's face down on the turf right in front of the Raider bench. Sitting up now, and the crowd has gone silent here, seeing Herb in obvious pain rolling around on the turf. Herb Jones, a mainstay on this Raiders team, not just this year, but across all 5 seasons of Raider football. Hasn't really missed a game in 5 years. Working on his left knee. And we'll only hope that Herb is able to play again this season, let alone this game, as he is just flat on his back. Trying to sit up and trying to recover from what is hopefully not too serious of an injury. He gets up and gets a nice hand as he walks to the bench. They're under his own power, but throws his helmet down in disgust and goes right back to the locker room. So he's walking, but that doesn't mean that he'll be back or able to play again this afternoon. Have to keep an eye on things for Herb this afternoon and the rest of the year. So it's Antoine Williams in there in his spots. Williams, Clark, and Bryant all split out to the left side on first down from the 24. Konopka, another deep drop, throwing deep, looking for Scooby. He lays out but can't make the catch. Diving for the ball with both hands outstretched. Bryant just couldn't stretch far enough. And then incompletion in the end zone will make it second down and 10. Under 5 minutes to go before halftime. Raiders on top in a low-scoring first half, 13-6. Bryant in circle motion. Konopka stands in the pocket, pats the ball, has it tipped right back in his face, and it goes incomplete. One of those defensive linemen couldn't see exactly which one as they were getting a little bit of a push back toward Konopka. Got his hand up and batted it right back toward the Raider quarterback. Third down and 10. Herb Jones is now jogging through the end zone and jumping over the walls. He goes back to the locker room area for evidently more treatment. Konopka has time, throws toward the wall, caught by Antoine Williams, and they're saying he was down by contact, very close to the first down against the wall there. They're going to mark him a yard short. Fourth down and 1 coming up. Good catch by Antoine, concentrating, making the catch on top of the walls. He hit the wall. First catch for Antoine since the last time these two teams met. So on fourth down and 1, the Raiders will go for it. Trips left. Williams is the motion man. Konopka, pass back, caught by Scooby Bryant behind a range of blockers across the 15-yard line. He has the first down. There are a couple of penalty flags on the field as the right side of the Harrisburg defensive line may have jumped. Get the call from Mike Davis, our referee this afternoon. And it is illegal procedure against the Stampede. The Raiders will take the penalty because Scooby got maybe 4 yards, the penalty worth 5. They'll take the extra yard and make it a first down at the Stampede 12. 2:56 to play before halftime. Raiders on top by a touchdown, looking to extend that lead. Offense looking to get in the end zone for the first time. Their lone touchdown tonight was a pick 6 by Kevin Allen. Konopka looks to his left, now to the right. Scooby's in the neighborhood, but it's over his head and over the outstretched arm of Travis Proctor, trying to make an interception in the back corner of the end zone. Raiders going for it all on first down. Konopka has 4 touchdown passes in the 2 meetings with the Stampede this season. Bryant's the motion man. Handle goes to Kenny Jones. Gets past the first wave. Is hit by Thaxton, and Thaxton holds on long enough for the Cavalry to catch up and stack up Kenny Jones inside the 10-yard line. Give Kenny Jones progress to the 8-yard line. 3rd down and 6. Raiders can get a first down at the 2. See what's on Coach Fuller's play sheet for 3rd and 6 from inside the 10-yard line. Bryant's in motion. Konopka drops back, looking to throw. Pump fakes. No one open. He fires it into the 3rd row, going incomplete. Back corner. Sets up 4th down and 6. A lot of time for Konopka. Good protection by the offensive line, but nobody open downfield. And we have reached the 1-minute warning. Clock shows 1 minute. Clock stopped at 1 minute. Not sure the refs recognize it yet. Now we get the call from Mike Davis. Takes us to the 1-minute warning. Raiders facing a big 4th down when we return. Back for the final minute of the first half after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
Raiders are going to go for a field goal. 23-yard attempt by T.C. Stevens is straight and true. So on 4th down, they take the points. Stevens gets his 3rd field goal of the first half. And the Raiders go up 16-6, just inside of a minute to play. So T.C. Stevens, 3 field goals in this first half. A Kevin Allen interception return for a touchdown. And that's the Raiders scoring to this point. Coach Fuller deciding the points might be at a premium as we get inside the final minute of this first half. Raiders have all 3 of their timeouts left. They want to try to get the ball back before halftime. We'll see what the defense can do. Defense has been playing well tonight. And well might even be an understatement. 2 interceptions, 2 3-and-outs. The only hiccup, a Stampede touchdown, was the defense gave them a ton of yards and penalties on that drive. Here's the kickoff by TC, going toward the uprights, and just missing wide left. He had the distance for the Uno, a good, strong kick from TC, but was just a couple feet wide left. So Stampede get it at the 10-yard line with all 3 of their timeouts left as we wind down the first half. Raider DB is getting in position. Austin had to go across the field. And Namath, with a flag down, finds Darrell Jones open over the middle. Austin comes off of his man to make the tackle at the 25-yard line. Flag thrown back near the line of scrimmage. Illegal defense called against the Raiders. Jarrell Jones took it just across midfield to the 24 of the Raiders. Biggest play of the afternoon for Harrisburg, a 16-yard gain. Now on first down, Namath pumps it, throws it, caught by Collis Martin, stood up by Tyrell Austin, shy of the first down. Austin did a good job to keep him not only shy of the first down, but in play before he could twist his way to the sideline. Second down and a yard to go. 38 seconds remaining. Norm White, the high motion man, alone to the left side. Namath in this shotgun, looking for White. Now comes off him, goes over the middle. Caught by Jones, goes around Cromartie, fighting for the end zone, and he gets there. Touchdown, Stampede. Good individual effort by Jarrell Jones. Making the catch, getting the tough yards after the catch. Going 15 yards in all, the Stampede touchdown. And after missing their previous extra point, the Stampede are going to go for 2. Anderson, the fullback. Namath throws to the right, and it's caught on a good route by Collis Martin. He was wide open and stuck his hands out where Namath threw the pass. The Stampede get 2. So with 30 seconds left, the Stampede put together their best offensive drive of the game by far. They go 40 yards in just 3 plays. Touchdown, 15-yard pass from Namath to Jarrell Jones. They get the 2-point conversion and pull to within 2. 16-14 for the final 30 seconds. Raiders will get the ball. They have all 3 of their timeouts, and they'll receive the second half kickoff. So some chances for them here to extend the lead, go up by a couple of scores coming out of halftime. Raiders got up 13-0 to start the game. A couple of touchdowns since by the Stampede have pulled them to within 2 points. Paklemba tees it up in the center of the field, right there on the goal line. Darren Clark, the deep man for the Raiders. Kickoff, a high one. He's going for the Uno. He gets the Uno. Paklemba pulls the Stampede to within 1. Raiders will have to start from the 5-yard line following Kat Paklemba's 9th Uno of the year. Speedy Clark is the motion man. Konopka back in the end zone, goes over the middle, caught by Scooby Bryant in space. He goes to the 20, then to midfield, and Travis Proctor puts a shoulder into him, throwing him into the boards at the Raider 24. Raiders get out of trouble field position-wise on the 19-yard catch and run by Scooby Bryant. Clock stopped with 23 seconds to play. Clark's going to go in motion again. Namath stands in the pocket. Is hit as he throws, and it goes incomplete into the second row. Antoine Williams in the area, but bodied up by Travis Proctor, and Konopka smartly threw it away to live to fight again on 2nd down and 10. So the Raiders would like to get at least one more first down here. So if they have to try a field goal to end the half, it'll be much more makeable for TC Stevens. Play clock down to 10. Konopka from under center, drops back to throw, has time, going deep, looking for Darren Clark. The pass overthrown again, as Konopka is playing it safe. If he doesn't see someone fairly wide open, he's airing it out and making sure that the ball gets into the stands. So a couple of fans in that front row behind the corner there have souvenirs already. 3rd down, 10 yards to go, 13 seconds left. Snap is fumbled. Stampede falling on it, saying that they have it. And they do. Looks like it was Daniel Orlebar falling on the ball. So a fumbled exchange on the snap. Gives the Stampede the ball with 9 seconds left. And a bugaboo that was certainly a thorn in the Raiders' side in the first half of this season comes back to bite them here. Center quarterback exchange is a huge problem in the early goings. Was rectified seemingly for the past several games, but now it's Stampede ball. Namath a pump fake. Namath going over the middle. It's caught by Jarrell Jones. Going toward the wall, gets there with 3 seconds left to stop the clock. Stampede called timeout for their final play with 3 seconds to go. Offense still on the field. No sign of Paklemba. Only 3 seconds left. I got time for just one more play. And now Bernie Nowatarski calls for the field goal unit. Had a long heart-to-heart with his quarterback and his offensive coordinator. But coming out of it, decided we're going to try to take the lead into halftime. Give Paklemba a chance to go ahead in these final 3 seconds. Paklemba 0 for 2 on field goals. Both of those were real long ones, though, from 51 and 61 yards. This one will be from 25 to give the Stampede the lead. High snap. Namath puts it down. The kick is up. The kick is away. The kick is no good. He pushed it wide to the right. So the Raiders escape with the lead at halftime. The fumble on the exchange doesn't hurt him as much as it could have. And through the first 30 minutes, it's Raiders 16, Stampede 15. We'll take a break from Hershey, come back for some halftime talk after this. Raiders up by a point at the break. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size.
We know what you told us.
There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat. Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Kissel spent 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
It was the third lap of the race. I came up to this jump, and all I remember is like seeing grass and sky rolling so many times.
Eli came in and was very, very frightened.
I woke up, and I had a cast to my toes. Nurse Sherry was the best nurse ever. Nobody can get better than her. She stayed after just to see if I'm all right.
Pediatrics is my world. It's just amazing working with kids. Good help is me.
From infants to teens and everyone in between, the stories continue here.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive flights. All those who want to save money and keep competitive rates in Richmond, please add low-cost airlines to your travel plans. Thank you to those who have. Zone, yes, we're talking to you. Please get on board at this time. Save Low Fares Richmond, a campaign of the Greater Richmond Chamber. SaveLowFares.com.
Welcome back to the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tim Hurley with you at halftime. Raiders have a 1-point lead despite a relatively fast start for the Raiders. Off the opening kickoff, they held the Stampede to a 3-and-out, got the ball back, and though the offense sputtered some, they got a 49-yard field goal from T.C. Stevens to go up 3-0. Another 3-and-out by the defense, and a big return by Scooby Bryant of the missed field goal. gave the Raiders great field position. Couldn't get it in the end zone, though. Settled for a 30-yard T.C. Stevens field goal to make it 6-0. On the Stampede's next play, Kevin Allen picked off E.J. Namath, took the ball back 12 yards for a touchdown to make it 13-0. And the Raiders were clicking, at least on defense and on special teams. The kickoff after the pick six hit the scoreboard, gave the Stampede the ball at the 20-yard line, and a couple of illegal defense penalties and a pass interference penalty moved the ball down to the 7-yard line to make it 1st and goal. Stampede hadn't gained a yard of offense until that point. They did use the offense to move the ball the last 7 yards. E.J. Namath ended up taking it in on the ground from 4 yards for the touchdown to make it 13-6. Raiders offense continued to sputter. This time, Stevens missed a field goal from 48 yards, but the defense stood tall on a 4th down play. Cromartie picked off Namath and gave the Raiders the ball right back in the late goings of the second quarter. This time, the Raiders got as deep as the Stampede 8-yard line. Couldn't stick the ball in the end zone yet again, though, and settled for a 23-yard field goal just inside the 1-minute warning to make it 16-6. The Stampede offense woke up. They moved the ball 40 yards in just 3 plays, and E.J. Namath found Jarrell Jones for a 15-yard touchdown, and then found Collis Martin for the 2-point conversion to pull a Stampede to within 2 at 16-14, and Kappa Klemba added an uno on the kickoff to make it 16-15. And it could have been much worse going into halftime after a center quarterback exchange was fumbled by the Raiders, and the Stampede had the ball at the Raider 24-yard line. Moved the ball to the 10-yard line on a pass play, and then tried a field goal as time expired in the first half, but the field goal was wide right from 25 yards, meaning the score at halftime remained Raiders 16, Stampede 15. We'll take another timeout from Hershey and come back with the first half stats when we resume. So stick around as you continue to stay tuned to Richmond Raiders football.
At an undisclosed McDonald's location, there is a club where the best of the best gather in secret. Tonight, they welcome LeBron James. And what does one serve the best basketball player? The Bacon Clubhouse. 100% pure beef or chicken sandwich prepared on a new artisan roll, all with our famous Big Mac special sauce. Because everyone deserves the best. Now get free fries and a soft drink with the purchase of any Bacon Clubhouse. There's something for everyone to love at McDonald's.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tim Hurley with you as we continue at halftime. Raiders lead the Stampede by a point. Raiders will receive the second half kickoff. Time to run down the first half stats. They weren't especially pretty on either side. For the Raiders, Phil Konopka was 7 of 18 passing, 62 yards. Scooby Bryant had 2 catches for 28 yards. Herb Jones, 2 catches for 6 yards before going out with an injury. Kenny Jones, 1 catch for 12 yards. Antoine Williams, a catch for 9 yards. And Darren Speedy Clark, a catch for 7 yards. Kenny Jones carried the ball 3 times for 5 yards. T.C. Stevens was 3 for 4 on field goals, made from 48, 29, and 22, and missed from 46. For the Stampede, E.J. Namath, 7 of 17 through the air, 71 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Jarrell Jones had 4 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. Collis Martin, 3 catches for 19 yards. Namath ran the ball 4 times for 12 yards and a touchdown. Saren Anderson a run for 8 yards. Paklemba was 0 for 3 on field goals, missing from 50, from 60, and from 24. Raiders had 53 total yards of offense in the first half. The Stampede, 86. Some hidden yardage, though, for the Raiders. 58 yards in all on the missed field goal return by Scooby Bryant, setting up in great field position. And officially 14 yards on the interception return by Kevin Allen. And that, of course, was a touchdown. So those hidden yardage plays for the Raiders leading directly to 10 points. Raiders had the ball for 14 minutes, 42 seconds. The Stampede 15-18 time of possession. Raiders 0 for 5 on third downs. Stampede 1 for 5 on third downs. 2 sacks for each side. Tim Green, 1.5 for the Stampede, and Daniel Orlebar had a half. Christian Lacey and Preston Hines each have a sack for the Raiders. Lacey, Hines, and Gus Tyson each also credited with a tackle for a loss. Tim Green, 1.5 tackles for a loss, and Daniel Orlebar a half a tackle for a loss. The interceptions coming courtesy of Kevin Allen and Malik Cromartie, as the Raiders got a little bit of pressure on Namath. Mentioned the 2 sacks, made him pump fake a couple of times, made him run around in the pocket a couple of times. So good coverage downfield, if not constant, consistent pressure in the backfield like they got in the last game between these two teams. So if they can ratchet up the pressure getting into the backfield, a couple more sacks of Namath in the second half, and a few more knockdowns, hit as he throws, quarterback hurries, quarterback pressures, the defense will be in pretty good shape. Offensively, the Raiders just have to get into a rhythm. They had a good drive going on their second to last drive of the first half, sputtering in the red zone and settling for a field goal. A promising drive as the first half wound down before the fumbled exchange between the center and the quarterback. They cannot turn the ball over, cannot put it on the ground. They had 2 fumbles in the first half, recovered one of them, and the Stampede recovered the other. So no fumbles at all for the Raiders has to be the goal for half number 2. Hang on to the football, get some pressure on the quarterback, and get out of Hershey, Pennsylvania with a win and a continued at least share of second place in the PIFL's Northern Conference, or National Conference. Halftime festivities continuing from the Giant Center. All the other action in the PIFL is later tonight. So we've got the Nashville Venom in Columbus to take on the Lions. 3 home games for American Conference teams, as the 2 other National Conference teams are venturing south. The Lehigh Valley Steelhawks are in Rome, Georgia to take on the Fire. So the Raider fans will definitely be big Georgia Fire fans this evening, hoping that the Fire can knock off the Steelhawks, as the Raiders and Steelhawks are currently tied for second place in the National Conference. 4th and final game on the PIFL slate this evening between the Trenton Freedom and the defending champion Alabama Hammers. That game in Huntsville, Alabama, as the Freedom on a long road trip trying to lock down home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. They would guarantee themselves a first round home game with a win over the Hammers. More to come from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and the Giant Center as we continue at halftime and wind down toward the second half of play. Raiders again to receive the second half kickoff. They lead the Stampede by a point, 16-15. So stay tuned for much more from Hershey after this. You're tuned in to Richmond Raiders football.
Attention! At this time, we'd like to ask all passengers seated in Zone All of Richmond to get on board with keeping fares low and adding more competitive